This section is all really a common sense one. You've probably figured it out on your own, but we'll go over it quick. If you've got a triangle, I'll make one that's kind of obvious, hopefully. It's got 3 sides and 3 angles, right? If I told you, well, just looking at this, which side is the shortest? AB, and second shortest? BC, and the longest would be AC. Today's assignment, you're going to be just listing these from smallest to biggest or biggest to smallest. So it'd be AB, BC, AC.
What's the point of?
Well, I'll show you in a second. And then with angles, if you had to list the smallest angle, what would be the smallest angle on this?
C.
Angle C. And then what's the second smallest? A. And then angle B. Now, the way this works is, since AB is the smallest side, the angle opposite has to be the smallest angle because it's not open as wide. Since AC is the longest side, the angle opposite has to be open widest, so it's the biggest angle. So you see how they work together?
Yeah.
So all you're going to be doing is you're going to be given either the angles or the sides. And you got to say which is longer or shorter. So some of these, here, since it's the angles, we want to list the sides from least to greatest. So since 35 is the least angle, which is the shortest side? XY. So you put XY first. That takes care of that one. Then 40 is the next smallest. So that means YZ is the next shortest. And then the biggest is 105, and that's opposite of XZ. Easy enough?
Yeah.
Then if it's the sides, and you're going to list the angles from least to greatest, you look at the shortest side, the side opposite that for the angle would be the smallest angle because it's not open as wide. And then 6 is next, so C would be the next biggest. And then 7 is the longest, which means B is the biggest. So it's pretty easy stuff. Here it's just a common sense one. They tell us that MN is congruent to NP. So that means these sides of this triangle are equal. And MP, right here, is less than MN. So that means this side is shorter than these two.
Okay.
What can we conclude about the angle measures?
Angle N is the smallest.
Angle N is the smallest. Since this side is shorter than these two, this angle's got to be the smallest angle. Okay? What do you know about these two angles, M and P? They're equal, yep, because it's isosceles. So the triangle inequality says this: any two sides added together have to be more than the third side. Because if you had a length like this, 3, 7, and 10, could you make a triangle out of those lengths?
Yeah.
If I put the 10 on the bottom, say it's a 10-foot board, and then I took a 3-foot board and a 7-foot board, and nailed it to the ends, would it form a triangle?
That'd be big.
It'd be exactly the same, right? The 3 would be like right to there, and the 10 there, or the 7. So, that's where this comes into play. Any two sides have to be more than,
So could it be like 4 and 7?
it could be 3.1 and 7 and it would work. It'd be a real small triangle, but as long as they add up to more than the third side. So, some of your questions are, they're going to give you 3 lengths, and you got to say, does it form a triangle or not?
Okay,
So like, for example, 6, 6, and 4.
yes. No.
6 and 6 is more than 4. 4 and 6 is more than 6. 4 and 6 is more than 6, so that's yes.
Oh, so you just check it with all of them?
Yep. 11, 12, and 30?
No.
No, because 11 plus 12 is not more than 30. Because of this reason, if you had a board that was 30 feet and you put an 11 footer and a 12 footer on there, they wouldn't reach,
Oh, no.
because that only adds up to 23. Okay,
Pretty obvious.
pretty obvious. Now this one's a little trickier, this question.
Trickier.
If you had one side that's 12 and the other side that's 20, what are the possible lengths of the third side?
Anything over this. Right? No, anything that's between 12, no.
Anything bigger than anything bigger than 8.
Anything bigger than 8?
Yeah.
Because 12 plus 8 would be bigger than 20?
Yeah, so like, could you just put like 8 and then put like the sign, the
Yep,
even sign?
it could be greater than 8. But it has to be less than something else.
But it has to be less than,
Less than 20.
it has to be less than 1, 2,
21.
21?
20, 28, 20,
Less than 20.
Or no.
less than 32.
Yeah.
Less than 32?
Yeah.
And how did you get that?
Exactly.
Right, 20 plus 12 is 32, so they gotta add up to more than 32. And then if you subtract them, 20 minus 12 is 8, so it's gotta be greater than 8. So that's how you get what it's gotta be in between. So it's gotta be in between these two added together and these two subtracted. So, here's an example of this one. If one side is 8 and one's 11,
Okay.
what are the possible, if you go like this and just fill in the numbers, x has to be greater than what? 3,
Right.
less than 19. Everyone understand how to put that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could just write it out too if you're not sure how to write this, but this reads x is greater than 3 and x is less than 19.
Oh.
So, would these three form a triangle?
Yes.
Yes. 13 and 25 is more than 14. 25 and 14 is more than 13. 13 and 14 is more than 25.
Okay.
How about this one?
No.
No, because 8 and 9 are equal to 17. It's got to be more than. So, easy lesson.
Are any of them maybe like